She started her career designing cars at Audi before she decided to move on to futuristic concept cars and designing festival stages on the side. 2006, she founded Vita Motus, a design company driven by artistic passion and industrial know-how, creating installations, for example, for Pharrell Williams or Red Bull. And I can tell you one thing, if you have a look at the real, it's mind-blowing. It's like basically like your eyes and your brains are having a party. I'm incredibly happy that she's part of this year's ADC. Give it up for Heather Shaw.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Shaw, and I'm the founder and CEO of Vita Motus Design Studio. Thank you so much for having me here at ADC Festival 2022. I'm really honored to be here, even if remotely. We're really excited to share some of our ideas and how we turn them into reality. Vita Motus is a multidisciplinary concept design studio that really specializes in innovative design and turnkey production for artists, festivals, and brands worldwide. Because our work is so visual, I'm going to try to kind of take you through some of what we do visually. So I'm going to share a screen here and give you our presentation. We predominantly focus on transforming the human perspective and really trying to blur the lines between imagination and reality. As a concept design studio, we really strive to bring groundbreaking, reality-bending ideas to life and amplify that connection between art and audience. We're a lean team pushing the limits of how people can be entertained, informed, and inspired. Our projects run the gamut from one-off brand activations to multi-year, large-scale tours and weekend festivals. Everything you see in this reel we've designed and made happen, from physical set designs to content to this special effects programming. We were founded in 2006, and we actually began as what I thought would be an industrial design firm. At the time, I was designing concept vehicles for Volkswagen and Audi, and working there really provided me with a good foundation in industrial design and design thinking, as well as the science of predicting the future and the needs of people, really analyzing design, analyzing what people need, as well as what people will need in products in the future. During this period, I also really discovered a deep affinity for that futurism and the evolution of technology, and thinking about how technology and connected design can really improve our art, improve connection, improve how we communicate, etc. Even though it was a good source of inspiration, I did find that automotive design evolved a little slower than I really imagined it could. Creating vehicles that were really dependent on a large majority of the world purchasing it meant that the auto industry was less likely to try really bold ideas. So on the side, I began to design projects with my friends for festivals and for the live music to satisfy an urge for that freedom in design and to really test new concepts, making big moves that were not so closely tied to that global marketing. When the economy went south in 2008 and 2009, the auto industry really became even more difficult for designers at satellite studios, and many of us lost our jobs, which at the time was really challenging, but I do appreciate it, and it was a valuable moment, because from there I really chose to follow my passion for entertainment, let that design studio take over and really follow where passion was taking me. That's why the ADC 2022 motto, "Ideas Create Reality," really resonates with me. That push beyond reality has been a driving force in all our work. Possibilities are something that we challenge, and we're not final, where things aren't confirmed until all paths have really been exhausted. So we really challenge the impossible. We're really inspired by the quote from Albert Einstein, that innovation is not the product of logical thought, although the result is tied to logical structure. And this quote really exemplifies how we try to begin all our projects, by focusing on leveraging new technologies, making mistakes, trying things people think won't work and getting wild with the first rounds of designs, not letting any ideas be stupid or dumb and really just putting it all out there. And usually it's something that takes, you know, some R&D and research and really going into, you know, something deep in terms of ideas. For us, that innovation is the product of experiences, influences, and our surroundings. So we like to get a lot of experience out of the world, and we like to see what's out there. It stands to reason that the more you step outside of what's comfortable, the more you'll find what's new. That comfort zone is always an interesting place to find, to step out of, to find an inspiration. Once you venture into what's innovative, then of course it's a must to connect it to that logical structure, like Einstein says, and making sure it functions with redesign and testing. And it's a phase that we call viability. So taking that crazy idea and making it viable really is a big part of what we do. And it's a very exciting part of the process. Design and really any creation will get stagnant if you constantly tie it to what you perceive as possible. Our dream is to always try impossible things, as Einstein did. And we hope to make choices that can help shape the future of design. Our motto, and something that we try to connect with regularly, is design the future, a statement that we're always trying to recall in our process. It's also meant to inspire others to think differently and to do their part in shaping what's to come and what's possible. I'm going to give you some examples of some of our projects to kind of understand how we tie that illogical thought to the reason and to possibility. One of the purest opportunities we've really had to transform an idea into reality came about when we were commissioned by Red Bull to concept and create our own dream projects, which it was for the launch of their Red Bull at Night series, but it was kind of the first time we had been asked to really think about what our dream project would be. It wasn't connected to client work. So it was a really good expression of something that we appreciated, an idea that we thought was very intriguing. And the exhibition was called The Circuitry of Life. It consisted of an immersive 4-story cube in which live performances and visual art kind of charted the evolution of technology, signifying how we change from analog to digital and has impacted human connection by extending our art. This was an interesting blank canvas, and it was really a goal to reframe the way in which someone experienced music by reimagining the traditional way we watch performances in terms of stage and audience. Our staging structure was surrounded all 4 sides, and it winded all along the walls of the cube, hitting the top 40 feet high and winded back down. And the staging was tiered in the middle of that spiral staircase. So there was 4 tiers of staging. Each of those staging layers represented a moment in time, kind of expressed by music, really. So moving chronologically from analog to digital. So on the bottom level, we had an African drumming group. The next level, we had a chamber quartet. And the next, a techno drum machine performance. And then the final culminating moment was at the top of the structure, where we had a sculpture that was representing singularity. And it was a moment where everyone who was at the event was portrayed inside of the sculpture, and really also all of the walls of the cube were turned into touch-based musical instruments. So everyone was able to kind of play the walls, and as you played the walls, you got a visual connection as well as an audio connection. So you could play the drums on one side, the piano on another. And so that singularity moment was everyone together playing an audio visual sculpture and in concert together. This was really paying homage to that evolution of technology shown through music, and how that evolution has really extended our art in immeasurable ways. Another project that we really, connected with technology and really used technology to propel our art was a project that we did quite a bit ago for Amon Tobin. It was one of our most exciting projects. Amon is a very inspiring musician, and our design really pioneered the incorporation of video mapping technology into live performance, which at the time had never really been attempted in this way. And so this was very exciting to link our concept of media in sculpture and to create dimensional screens for us to view to view musical performances. This actually marked the first of our media-driven sculptures, and at the time it was kind of parallel to when people watch the very first film on the flat screen, A Train Comes to the Station. I've seen videos, reenactments of that, people like oohing and eyeing as the train looks like it's going to come off the screen. And really, I kind of felt that in the audience while we were watching this new dimensional way to experience narrative and media and video. I really kind of connected the audience in that same way as watching a train comes to the station. The real magic here was incorporating video synced perfectly with the media across the sculpture and the audio with performance, creating an all-encompassing visual audio journey through sound in a dimensional way. It was a very exciting project. Actually helped put Vita Motus on the map in terms of entertainment design. So it was a very exciting time for us. Another project that I thought would be great to share is something that we were commissioned by Hunan TV in China to develop their New Year's Eve arena stage. And this idea was mostly rooted in the structural concept in Chinese philosophy. We got inspired by the theory of the five fundamental elements, five fundamental elements of earth, wood, fire, water, and metal. And this process served as a reminder to us that it's always good design to be researching and understanding of a culture or an audience and how they'll react or be inspired to what is created. So not just making shapes for the sake of shapes, but always linking to who's watching and trying to create that that inspiration, that interesting connection between art and audience. This project, while it was very exciting and fun, it was also marking the end of 2019 in China, which we know was kind of a pinnacle moment for the world. It was a very strange time working in China, but also was really inspiring project. So it was quite a dichotomy at that moment. And so much started changing for us. And, as designers, especially, tapping into the industrial design side, once there are so many issues, so many functional issues to solve, really that's where design kicks in, form follows function, and really trying to find ideas to solve problems and to make those ideas beautiful. And so, at the beginning of COVID, we really did try to look at our process to see what we could offer our clients in terms of new and innovative products and ideas to really kind of help the industry. Something that we tapped into, for example, we looked at our process and what our design process is, and we are R&Ding and getting really deep into ideas, and then we quickly sketch those ideas in Rhino in CAD and start turning those ideas into reality in the computer, and really from CAD, we take it right into Unreal Engine. And so this particular design here, this is something we had in the engine. We've been using Unreal for the last 10 years for everything real time, for everything rendering. So we've been sharing, Shakira's stage design in VR with her. We've been bringing real-time renderings to the fabricators, and we use Unreal to help us communicate our design in the proper way. And really, we took this is our Stage 5 EDC design. It's been fabricated and installed 3 times at EDC Festival in Las Vegas. And we had this already in Engine. So we looked at this and we said, okay, how can we use what we have in Unreal and try to create products for our industry? So this was something that we thought could be a great idea. So we took this, what we're calling our live tool, and we started playing with what it could look like. So we put the characters in this stage design. They're called our space monkeys. They're meant to look like gorillas, and we put our space monkeys in a jungle. And then we started live streaming into the engine. So what we're looking at is our live tool. This is Darla, one of our designers, and she was just DJing from her living room on a green screen into the space. So this was her live DJ using an iPad into Unreal Engine. And then also the guys who create content for these media walls in the physical space, they're in India, and we asked them if they could VJ the performance. So we had the VJs in the scene live activating the media walls. And then we also had a lighting designer out of Florida activating lights in the scene that mirror lights in the physical space. So he's in Florida with a Grand MA lighting console activating lights in the scene. So really at this time, we were creating a live show from multiple places in the world. So Darla was in Tennessee, the VJs were in India, the lighting designer was in Florida, and then we had our cameras director in Los Angeles activating all of the cameras live. And this was really exciting for us. We thought, hey, we can start really getting some work out to our industry. So then after this, we started looking at what it would be like to work in this capacity for some festivals and some of our clients. So this was a scene for Digital Lightning in a Bottle. And we had all of these models already in Unreal because we've done a lot of work with the Do Lab, who does Lightning in a Bottle. So we populated this scene for them within a week, and we had their structures and their festival and their landscape in this surreal environment. And we started messing with what it could look like to give them their Digital Lightning in a Bottle experience, and how we could amplify that by seeing the space as the fans were used to, seeing the space as the audience was familiar with. So a lot of these spaces are really nostalgic to the audience. And so when we did put this out for Digital Lightning in a Bottle, it was very well received, and it was very familiar to the audience. Looking at the scene as the performance space for the audience, we thought we really needed to include the audience. It's something we're really looking to put into the virtual space, is to bring real live people into our virtual scenes. And that's what this particular performance does. So this was a very exciting time. The festival went off without a hitch. And this idea that we were bringing real people into the metaverse space was very exciting for us. So we decided to create what we call Vitaverse. It's a new and innovative company that is not yet launched, but we will be launching it soon. And it is about bringing the audience into the metaverse space in a real way, like what you're seeing right now. This virtual space has been really kind of inspiring, because we found this new freedom for creation where there's less things to think about, like gravity, scale, engineering, material availability, and time to actually fabricate. So we could actually design in new and interesting, otherwise thought impossible ways. And so this last 2 years where we've really been designing in the virtual space, we've kind of been tapping into that impossible visual, that impossible design and sculpture. And it's really interesting to feel that now in our physical, when things are back, where we're designing in physical space again, we can tap into this impossible structures kind of design inspiration. And it really does feed new and innovative thought. So kind of just to round it all out, you know, even at a cursory glance, this evolution of technology is really inspiring to us. And this graph, this kind of exponential growth, you know, graph really shows that Moore's law, that like the direction and the doubling up on itself in terms of where technology is going, and really looking at that as a parallel to our art and really evolving our art, doubling up on itself in a way that is kind of unimaginable. And so these concepts really do inspire our, how we push ourselves to really think further into what's possible. In the end, we see it as our responsibility to innovate along with technology, staying on top of the latest developments, and constantly questioning how they can push our art further and how it can support us in transforming our ideas into new realities. And thank you so much for having me. Let's design the future together.